Okay, so we have a couple competitors that are getting ready for their very first kettlebell competition. Jenna being one. It's gonna be in Chicago, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So, see, excited. She said excited, not nervous. That's the thing. They're very closely related. So if you say I'm nervous, say I'm excited. Anyway, so we wrote down a couple tips, 12 or 13 tips that'll help you get ready for your first competition or any competition that you're into. So, this is a couple days out, the pre-kettlebell competition primer, 2 to 3 days out. So, if you're thinking of everything that's like, could go wrong, what should you do?
Stop.
Stop, that's right, yeah. Don't think of all the things that could go wrong. Think of all the things that you've done right that you're gonna do. That's why you train. That's why we focus on stuff like this. That's why you train. So you don't have to go out there and be like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. That's what good coaches do. That's what good community of kettlebell enthusiasts do. People there are so helpful in kettlebell sport. It's awesome. It's it's not a team thing, so everyone's there to help other people. All right, so let's go to the next one. So now you're standing out there on your podium, on your platform, knocking flies. You're standing on your platform, getting ready to go, and all of a sudden you look out there and there's all these people.
Yeah.
What do you think they're gonna do? Do you think they're going to be staring at you? They're probably not. They're probably going to be eating things. I guarantee they're going to be on their phone. They're going to be Snapchatting weird things, you know. They're not there, so don't worry about it. Not everybody in the audience is there to be staring at you. Most people in the audience at a kettlebell competition are there to see a person or two. Chances are it's probably not you, okay? So don't let oh my God, the audience, they're staring at me. Don't worry about that. When I get up there, I just kind of, just look, gaze towards the back, and you'll pretty much block everything out. If you've trained well enough to be there, which you should have, and you have, you're practicing not even notice that stuff. You're there to compete and do your best with your chosen kettlebell sport, whether it's long cycle snatch or biathlon or whatever. By the way, what are you going to do?
Long cycle.
Long cycle.
Yeah.
Clean and jerk.
Yep.
Awesome. 16 kilogram?
Yep.
Yes.
10-minute set.
10-minute set?
Yes.
Awesome. So here, exercise focus on the training leading up. So remember, a couple days out. Should you change your training and try to do 20 minutes or something like that? No. What do you think you should do?
What I've been doing.
Yes. Don't freak out. Don't try to add some new program you found off Instagram to make you a better kettlebell athlete. You're as good as you're going to be right now. You're a couple days out from your competition. The competition is just there for you to pump up your adrenaline and go for it, okay? Remember, competition is not fitness. It's competition. Yeah, that's an exercise and competition are very, very different. So you prep yourself to be a competitive athlete. Very different than some people down here that are exercising for health. So you know that by going for that extra rep, you could possibly injure your shoulder or something like that. So just take that into account. That's why we don't always push to failure. I don't have you doing 10-minute sets all the time because we're focused on health, longevity, and wellness. And if you want to do a competition and you're ready for it, go ahead. Now let's get closer to the day. All right, your weigh-ins and stuff like that, you're going to be meeting your weigh-ins. Don't do the things like I do, like barely miss them because I, couldn't find the hall or whatever. I have a tendency for that. But anyway, so get your weigh-ins. You're not cutting weight or anything silly like that, so don't go out and eat crazy foods and stuff like that. If you're not ready right now for the competition, you're not going to, so don't change anything up. Your stimulants and everything, if people drink a lot of caffeine, don't have zero, but don't have more. Try to stick with what you're already used to. That's what your body's used to, that's what your mind, that's what your mental state is used to. So continue with that. Some people take a lot. I try to cut it back a little bit because it does elevate your heart rate. Caffeine does elevate your heart rate. Anyway, so your nervous system, you just do the same thing you always do. Same thing with food. Some people try to bring stuff with them that they're not used to, and all of a sudden their stomach's upset. That's not a fun thing. You might be doing your set at a different time than you train. So you train a lot in the evening here, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, but she's probably going to be at like 12 or 1 in the afternoon. So that's a different thing. You're not topped off with the food. You're not used to, your body might not be ready. I'm usually not ready to go at 10 a.m. with the double long cycle set. So I have to adapt something. So let's just focus on planning, the night before when you know the flight schedule is coming out. The flight schedule will have everybody's times and what they're doing. Just adjust accordingly. You might have to scoot things back an hour or 2 or a couple or stuff like that. Let's see. You gotta think about like your sleep, your travel. Do you have time to get to the venue that you're going to be? If it's big or smaller, it's like packing for a little vacation, except it's a lifting. If you're bringing special shoes or your belt or your guards or something like that. Speaking of guards, you got to make sure that you're not going to wear any illegal, what are they called? Stuff. So don't dress like me. You got to be able to see the knees, everything. Look for the dress code. They should have that. I don't know if the competitions will have that. Yeah, don't dress like me, all that stuff. I found out the hard way one time, you can't chew gum. I don't know. I swallowed it. That was terrible. So anyway, let's get more closer to the time when it goes off, right? So what side do you start with? What arm are you going to start with for unilateral stuff?
I'm going to start with my non-dominant hand.
Okay, so you start with your non-dominant hand. We went over this a lot. So the reason why I like to do non-dominant first, and we train alternating in practice, but in competition, your adrenaline's going. You might be able to do more there, that's the point. But use your non-dominant hand first, because as it gets fatigued, what's going to happen is you can switch. Say 5 minutes, 30 seconds, switch to your other side. Switch to your good dominant arm that you have the most dexterity with. Because your body, your legs, everything else will be more fatigued at that point. You'll have a fresh arm, but your heart will be pumping a lot higher. You'll be running out of gas. So you need that really stable, controlled arm so you don't end up hurting something. Plus, you can probably push your tempo a little faster by having that connection to a better control. So basically fatigue compensation and safety. Warm up, you're going to go out and warm up like maybe 2 flights ahead. Get ready. If you wake up in the morning doing some yoga and stuff like that, see if anything's tight. Don't try to address, stretching crazy hamstrings, stuff like that. Just, you're ready. You can't change much. Just get warm and ready to go. See how your body feels. Let's see. Get your heart rate up during warm-up. I mean, get it up. Get it up to where it's going to be in the competition. At least a little bit. Because then that tells you, okay, I've been there. When your heart rate gets there during 10-minute set, you're not going to be freaking out like, okay, it's not going to mess you up mentally. So I like getting the heart rate up pretty high, either jump rope or jumping jacks or, really fast-paced long cycle, something like that. Basically, it's going to help you psychologically. Here's another tip. So chalk, big thing about chalk. Some people that do snatch, always chalk. Some people that do long cycle, they don't need to chalk. It's just, don't switch it up. Just like the food thing, don't switch that up right away. Keep doing what you're doing. So you're probably not going to chalk because you don't chalk here.
Right.
Now, if you're nervous and you start to sweat, like crazily, just nervous sweat, you might give a light dusting. The problem is about chalk is it gets wet, it gets slippery and slimy. Too much chalk, too little chalk, whatever. So if it feels the same as the area that you're used to training in, let's continue to do your no chalk. Let's see, next page. Okay, yeah, hit on this a minute. Food the same as you normally do. Definitely making a kettlebell competition is high intensity, and it's an endurance event. you got to make sure you have enough carbohydrates in here. If you're on a diet, don't worry about this time. It's not going to make you gain fat. It might make you bump up in weight. Who cares? It's water weight and energy in your muscle. But carbohydrates are fuel for intense exercise, repetitive exercise. So 10 minutes of long cycle definitely takes a good amount of energy. You don't want to go in there just, eating a couple slices of bacon. Come on, I've seen it happen. You will bump, you will crash. So make sure you top yourself off with some slow burning carbohydrates in the morning and maybe some faster stuff right beforehand, 30 minutes before. Make sure your liver glycogen, you're topped off with some light food. I mean, if you want a candy bar, go ahead, do it. I used to get Snickers and stuff like that here and there. Something portable, but something that's not going to upset your stomach. You don't want to eat a bunch of fat and protein right before, 10 minutes before you go out on a competition. Our bodies run on glucose, so we want that carbohydrate that's easy. You don't want to be digesting stuff while you're up there, otherwise you're going to feel sick. Let's see. Oh yeah, so we're already talking about warming up. I like to lift heavier, so if she's doing 16, you might do a couple sets with a couple reps of the 20 or of an 18 or something to prime the body and to get over that psychological hump of picking up a 16 when you might be groggy, you're tired, and like, oh, that feels heavy. I've done this plenty of times. I always pick up a heavier weight, warm up, go heavier than you're going to compete with, then drop back down and see how much what you're going to compete with feels easier. So psychological advantage for yourself, that weight feels lighter. Then another thing is, once your heart rate's up, when we're ready and on the platform, and all those people out there may or may not be watching you, you want to bring your heart rate down. Nothing's worse than getting out there and getting your heart rate at 125 beats per minute when it could be at 90 to start with. So you want to be able to bring that down, get calm. I should have done this before this video. I should have taken a couple deep breaths. I should have centered myself and all that stuff. But that is what I do when I'm on the platform. Many videos I'm out there just standing there, close my eyes, getting rid of everything, shavasana, basically. So you're used to doing yoga, so just collect yourself. You know what you're there to do. Starting with your heart rate under 100 is way better than starting with it 125 just because you're nervous or too much caffeine. So let's go another one. So the judge is there to count your reps. Let's make sure that those reps are countable. The judge will give you a no count. They'll give you warnings and stuff like that. If you're not in proper fixation, if your form, your technique is off, if your knees are, you're not doing the under squat, whatever it is. So that brings to basically pace yourself. Don't go racing, at the beginning. The rules are the rules. Talk to the judge. You want to know what they want to see, okay? Because that's the thing. They're going off rules, but it's still kind of, some judges are a little bit more lenient than others. Some people will, throw that no count paddle like that up in the air. So we just want to know what the judge is looking for so we can make sure that we run that checklist on each and every rep. We don't want to get any no counts. That's a goal of swing this. It's not to have no counts. We want to show awesome form always. Let's see. Number 13. Well, that's another one. Be awesome to your other competitors. Even if you have some big rivalry, still, just be supportive of everybody there. You're there to do your best. At the same time, you still want to see other people do their best. I can't stand going out to some sports stuff and I see people just bitter towards another person for who knows what. Just be good. Have kettlebell. Have fun. And then the last one, I think, you are there to have fun. If not, why are you doing it? So if it stresses you out, it's probably not a thing for you. This should be a new, exciting thing. First kettlebell competition is awesome. It's just, you're going to be excited and your nerves are going to be different, but it's such a fun thing. You'll meet so many different people that you probably have seen on the internet and met and talked to. And then you just have this whole new community of, hey, I'm traveling on vacation. I'm going to stop at this kettlebell gym in Florida. Cool. And then people, come on in. I met you at the Arnold, or I met you in Chicago. Anyway, super cool people that I've met in the last 10 years, and now you're going to meet some more. So anyway, do you have any questions? Anything else?
I think that was most of them.
Cool. But like I said, we don't want to be crazy with it, but just have fun and enjoy. And we know you're going to do awesome.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Cool. Boom.
Do it.